Welcome, welcome, welcome to this 60 minutes of energizing flow. Whether you're practicing in the morning, the middle of the day, or the evening, this class is designed to help you stay balanced and focused. We're going to be practicing Warrior 3. So the whole sequence is going to help the body to feel balanced, strong, safe, stable. And if you want to use props, please go ahead and have some blocks nearby because we're going to do almost like a warm up. We're going to do baby, Warrior 3, and then a little bit more, and then at the end, it's up to you if you want to go and explore more, or you just want to keep it nice and easy and gentle, whatever your energy feels like in your body, please honor that. So let's take a moment here in a comfortable seat. If you want to sit a little taller, feel free to grab a blanket or something to elevate the hips. And let's just close our eyes for a moment for acknowledging that we are going to begin soon our asana practice. So let's just take a moment to notice where our attention goes and see if you can start playing with that back and forth of bringing your awareness into this present moment. And just remember, you can use body sensations. You can use your breath. You can any sounds to help you remain present as you observe, as you ground your awareness. And notice, without judgment, how are you feeling right now in this physical body? With kindness and compassion, identify the spots in the body that are tight and tense. And as you take your next inhale, slowly start connecting more intimately with your breath. Maybe also start to engage your Ujjayi breath. And as you hear the sound of your breath, allow your physical body to feel a little bit more relaxed. Set an intention. Why are you here? What's the purpose of your practice today? Is there anything that you need to let go? Is there anything you need to embrace? Is there anything that you want to invite into your life? Good. And you're welcome to keep your eyes closed. We're going to do some spinal movements here just to start engaging our core. And your next breath in, reach the arms overhead, grab opposite elbows, and just really growing taller through the crown of the head. A gentle side bend to the right, very gentle. Just give me your 30%, nothing too deep here. Elbows into the hands, hand hugging the elbows in. And slowly come back to center. Exhale, opposite side, side bend to the left. Just let it feel good. Feeling the side of the shoulders. And slowly come back to center. Release the hands behind you. You can grab opposite elbows or you can interlace the hands on the fingers and just allow your chest to open, a gentle back bend on the lower back. And feel the stretch in the front of the chest. One more breath in here. But as you exhale, release the hands. Let's go into our tabletop, so hands and knees. We do this something similar on Friday. So it's a variation of cow where we're going to add a little bit of circle into the spine. So spread your fingers wide, tuck your toes under, and as you start exhaling, you round the spine and lean into the right. And we're gonna start moving in circles, and then open your chest and close it. And just let it feel like an exploration of how the joints in the shoulders, the neck, your breast, the spine, the hips, everything feels in here. Just give yourself one more round as you move on this direction. And then you're gonna find a needle to go into the other direction. Reconnect to that intention of your practice. I don't mind sharing my intention of the practice, which is eliminating negative, limiting self-belief. I'm gonna let that go. Good, and then find your downward facing dog. Take your time there, lifting the hips, pressing the legs back. And just ground yourself through the hands and your toes. And give yourself a moment here to notice. Notice the effects of the body in this pose. Feel free to walk the dog, bending one knee at a time. Opposite heel dragging down to the floor. We're just gonna warm up with Sun Salutation. We're gonna stay a little bit active today. Take an inhale, look forward. And let's go into plank as you exhale. So just testing the strength. You can drop one knee at a time. And really grounding yourself through your hands and your back foot. And then exhale back to downward facing dog. Let's do that again. Inhale, rolling forward into plank. Stay in plank full. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, reaching back into downward facing dog. Bring your feet together, look forward. As you exhale, walk or jump to the very top of the mat. Once you land in there, take an inhale, lengthen your spine, come halfway up. Exhale, bow forward. Inhale all the way up to standing, nice and tall, reaching arms overhead. And then exhale, forward fold, letting the head feel heavy, pointing down to the floor. Inhale, lengthen halfway up again. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale all the way up, arms overhead, growing taller, stretching the front of the body. Exhale, forward fold. Start to make your breath nice and slow. Inhale, lengthen halfway. Exhale, press back to downward facing dog. Long inhale here. Exhale, plank. Just neutralize the pelvis. Thighs engage. Back to downward facing dog. Beautiful. Inhale, feet together, look forward. As you exhale, walk or jump to the top. Lengthen once you land. Exhale, bow. Inhale all the way up. Strong legs grounding you down to reach the fingertips all the way up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lengthen halfway up again. Exhale, hands down, right foot back, low lunge. Take your time to settle if you need props on the back knee. Arms overhead, inhale. Make sure your pelvis is rocking slightly forward. Both feet strongly into the floor. As you exhale, hands down, let's step back into downward facing dog. Full inhale in dog. Exhale, dog. Bring your right leg up and back, inhale, three-legged dog. Bring that right foot forward, nice and slow. First transition into our low lunge. Left knee drops. Arms overhead, inhale. Give yourself a moment here to feel the hips, whatever that might feel for you. Be kind. Exhale, hands down. We're gonna step forward for standing forward fold. Bring your hands behind the legs. Give yourself a little bit hug. Just making sure the weight of your body is equally between the heels and your toes. Keep pressing your seat bones high up to the sky and let the chest drop forward. Good. Bend the knees slightly, release the hands, come all the way up to standing, arms overhead. A gentle back bend on the top if that feels right, pressing the pelvis forward, dropping the sacrum. Exhale, release, forward fold again. Inhale, lengthen halfway up. Left foot back for low lunge. Take your time to settle. Strong legs to ground you so you can lift the arms overhead as you inhale. Exhale, hands down. Let's step back into downward facing dog. Moving with intention. Stay here for a full breath, reconnecting deeply. Grounding strongly. Three-legged dog on the left side. Left arm, left leg up and back. You exhale, bring it forward between the hands, right knee drops. Arms overhead, inhale. Exhale, hands down, stepping forward, Uttanasana. Just letting, once again, the stretch in the back of your legs. Bend the knees all the way up to standing, arms overhead. Gentle back bend at the top. Exhale, forward fold again. Inhale, lengthen halfway up. Exhale, hands on the floor and step back into your plank. Let's just stay here for 2 breaths. So if you want to do knees on the floor, you can. And let's just take our first chaturanga nice and slow. See if you can take it for 4 seconds. Just taking your time, feel the strength of the upper back. And then find your variation of cobra, baby cobra. And then close the chest, press back to plank, inhale. And then lifting the hips back to downward facing dog. Let's just do that Sun Salutation A. Take an inhale, look forward, feet together. You exhale, walk or jump to the top. Lengthen, inhale, halfway up. Long exhale, release, forward fold. Inhale all the way up to standing. Arms overhead, back bend optional. And then exhale, forward fold. So your body starts to feel warm or warming up. Breathing the sun, bringing the fire, the energy in the body. Inhale, lengthen halfway up. Exhale, bending the knees, hand on the floor, stepping back to plank again. Lengthen through the crown of the head. Lift your heels. So you're pressing through the ball of your foot and your toes on your plank. Now press your sternum forward, bring your gaze halfway forward as you bend the elbows back, tippy toes, Chaturanga Dandasana. Shift and open for your cobra. Shoulders relaxed, strong legs. Nice. Exhale, press back to plank, inhale. Exhale, downward facing dog. Very nice. Take a moment here, a couple breaths. If you need child's pose, remember anytime, anywhere, you can go there. Yeah, let's do a warrior Sun Salutation B. So bring your feet together once again. Inhale, look forward. As you exhale, walk or jump to the top. Inhale, lengthen halfway up once you reach the top of your mat. Exhale, forward fold. Just notice how slowly your legs are open up. Bend the knees, inhale, chair pose. It's a gentle chair pose if this is the legs are a little tired. Exhale, hands down, release, press back to plank. Full inhale in plank. Take a Chaturanga nice and slow as you start exhaling for 4 seconds. As you start inhaling, baby cobra or cobra, opening the chest, pressing through the legs and hips. And then exhale back to downward facing dog. We're gonna do a Virabhadrasana Uno, your warrior one. So take an inhale, right leg up and back. As you exhale, bring that right foot forward between the hands and drop the left heel in. Lower the pelvis. And then pressing the feet down to lift your chest, arms overhead. Full inhale. Exhale, hands down, stepping back to plank. Full inhale. Chaturanga. Remember, you can modify this, make it more gentle if you come into your knee. And then find your cobra, inhale. And then exhale back to downward facing dog. Let's stay here for one breath, checking in, settle your attention. And let's do that on the other side. Three-legged dog on the left. Exhale, left foot comes between the hands. And right foot drops the heel slightly in. Grounded through the legs, lowering the pelvis, bring your arms and chest up. Now, if you want to have a more focused leg practice, wider your stand a little bit as you drop the pelvis so the front thigh comes parallel to the floor. Keep pressing through the back heel. Inhale. Exhale, hands down. Let's close the cycle back to plank. Inhale. As you exhale, take your Chaturanga variation. Let it feel nice. Challenging yourself here in Cobra. Maybe you hover the hands above the floor. And then exhale back to downward facing dog. One deep breath in through the nose. Exhale, letting everything out. Inhale, look forward, feet together. You're jumping, try to keep those inner thighs together, landing your feet in between the hands. Inhale, lengthen halfway. Exhale, bend the knees, chair pose, arms forward. Inhale here. Exhale, come all the way up to standing, release the hands at your side. Bring your palms together in the center of the heart, Samastiti, and just rest in the thumb, sternum. Keep your feet as wide as the hips and take a moment here with your eyes closed to acknowledge the fire within you. Your heart perhaps is going a little faster. Maybe the breath is a little bit shallow. It's all good. It's all part of the practice. We just want to activate the fire within you. Warm up the whole body into this practice. Take a deep breath in through the nose. And full exhale. Okay. Release the hands. What we're going to do here now, we're going to do a baby warrior 3. So you're welcome to walk into the middle of your mat if you like. And just grab maybe one block and place it under your chest in front of you. And so the idea is to use, if you have 2 blocks, you can have 1 block for each hand. But I'm going to use just one. And the idea is when you bring your hands into the block on the high level, is to keep the chest parallel to the floor. So we want to make sure that we minimize the arch of the lower back by slightly drawing the abdomen in and keeping the crown of the head and the sacrum right in the center of your mat. Your feet are going to be as wide as your hips. And all we're going to do here is we're going to kick that right leg back, keeping the right bones of your hip pointing south. Nothing else compromises. So your spine still lengthening in the middle of the mat. Your left foot is grounding you. Maybe you bend that left knee a little bit. Make sure you continue closing the lower ribs in here. Now, I like to imagine that my back heel, the right heel, is printing into a back wall. That way your thighs are a little bit more engaged. Maybe you're feeling more your right glutes because you're using your leg muscles instead of the lower back to lift that back leg. Okay, so just take notes, muscle memory, mental memory on the engagement that is required to have a balanced, steady, relaxing warrior three. One more breath. And then release right foot next to the left. Switching side right away. We're already in it. Shifting weight to the right, kicking that left foot back. So you have to kind of adjust the pelvis slightly. Drop the left hip a little bit forward down. And keep the chest parallel to the floor, right in the center of the mat, so you're not going into any diagonal shape. Shoulders relax, gaze relax. Most important, your breath is relaxed. Back leg strong, spreading your left toes also helps you engage the muscles in the leg. One more inhale. And then exhale, release that left foot and drop here into a forward fold. Release the hands wherever they land. Shake the head, yes or no. And now that we have done that baby warrior three review, place your block out to the side and go into downward facing dog. Just take a couple breaths here. Just settle in, settle out. You take an inhale, right leg up and back, three-legged dog. And as you exhale, come into crescent lunge. Right foot forward, between your hands, lower the pelvis slightly. Keep the hands on the floor and back legs strong. My bad, I should have said that before. Just take a moment here because I want you to reconnect strongly with your legs and your feet. So let's do a little rotation of the chest. So your right hand opens out to the side and then open the chest to the right. So if you keep your pelvis, your right hip hugging into the center of the mat, as you keep the front knee bent, you might feel a little stretch on the right outer hip. And this stretch feels good after that warrior three that we did. So we're balancing the strengthening and stretching of the pelvis. One more inhale. And now release the twist and now come all the way into your crescent lunge. Arms overhead. And then grab opposite elbow, just like we did in the beginning of the practice. And just maybe like 15 or 20%, a little side bend to the right. Keep leaning back, pressing pelvis forward. And then come back to center with the forearms and then come back into the left side. Little stretch towards the left so your right body feels a little gentle stretch. Good, and then release nice and slow. Hands into your hips. We're gonna step forward into chair pose, keeping the front leg as slow as possible. We're gonna drag the back foot into that chair pose. Good, stay here with me, inhale. We're gonna do the same sequence backwards. So kicking your right leg back, coming to that crescent lunge on the other side. Good. Arms overhead, grab opposite elbows. Notice how the crown of the head makes you taller and your legs feel like a more stable. Little side bend to the right. Remember, maybe 20, 15%, nothing too extreme here. Just enough for you to feel the stretch. And then come back to center, inhale. Exhale, opposite side. And then release, come back to center. Hands on the floor. Settle your legs and then extend the left arm out and twisting to the left with your chest. Right shoulder relaxed. Right leg strong. The pelvis right in the center of your mat. One more breath. And then release that twist, step back into downward facing dog. Very nice. 2 more rounds of breath, inhale. Long exhale. 1 more breath. Now let's just put all that together. Let's take a vinyasa first. Inhale, come into plank. Drop the knees if you have to as you start exhaling, Chaturanga. Beautiful. Take an inhale, open your heart for cobra. And then exhale back into downward facing dog. Look forward. You can walk or jump to the top of your mat. Once you reach the top, stay in forward fold. Bring your hands behind the legs, tie cloth in here. Shake the head, yes or no. Bend the knees, come into chair pose. Inhale. Stay here, exhale. And then release the hands down, forward fold. Now grab your block right there, baby warrior 3 again. Hands on the block to help you lengthen your spine halfway up. And then you're gonna kick your right leg back and keep that right hip closed, hugging the left hip in. Make sure the ribs are drawing in as well. 1 more inhale. Good, and then release that right leg and shift it to the left side. Nothing else changes except your balance between one leg and the other. Your pelvis, your spine, your head, right in the center, strong and steady. 1 more inhale. And then release that left leg, forward folding here. 1 more time. And release the block to the side. Press your right leg back, low lunge, right knee on the floor. Arms overhead, inhale. Grab opposite elbows, a little side bend to the right. Come back to center, inhale, side bend to the left. Good. Release, come back to center, hands on the floor. We're gonna step back to downward facing dog. Just 1 breath here, settling. Let's take a vinyasa. As you inhale, grow taller through the spine in dog. As you exhale, find your plank. Inhale, plank. Exhale, chaturanga, nice and slow, very good. Then open your heart, feel your cobra, stretch of your abdomen. And then back to downward facing dog. Take an inhale, walk or jump to the top of your mat and stay in forward fold at the very top of your mat. Bring your hands behind you, grab opposite elbows or interlace your fingers, shoulder stretch. Let it feel good. Feel free to bend the knees. Release your hands in here. Left leg back, low lunge. And take a moment as you reach the arms overhead. Continue stretching the front of the pelvis. We're grabbing opposite elbows as you press them into your palms, little side bend to the right. Slowly center, inhale. Exhale, side bend to the left. Come back to center, release the hands down. Stepping back to downward facing dog. Take your time. Just one round of breath. Good, now take an inhale, right leg up and back. As you exhale, crescent lunge with your hands on the floor. Take a moment there, twisting the chest to the right. Inhale, open your right arm to the sky. And then exhale, close that twist and use the momentum of your impulse to bring yourself all the way up to that crescent lunge. Now here we're gonna add a little bit to the sequence. We're gonna come halfway forward, hands forward, down and back. Extend the front leg. So if you need to widen your feet, hip distance, that's gonna give you a little bit more stability. Back heel is lifted. It's a variation of pyramid pose here. Rebend the front knee, come all the way up, crescent lunge. All right, let's do one more like that. Halfway forward, nice and slow. Draw the belly in, hands reaching back, extend the front leg. Good, rebend the front knee, nice and slow. Crescent lunge. Now here's what we're gonna transition into our warrior three. Give you two options. You can bring your hands into your hips, or you can use that block in front of you and rest your hands on the block. If you have your hands on the hips, it's gonna help you to kind of level the pelvis. So notice how your hip bones are both straight forward. As we transition, those hip bones are gonna point straight out equally, okay? So that's gonna avoid any open of the pelvis. So reach through the crown of the head towards the front of the mat, and then gently you can just kind of drag the back foot just to check the pelvis, and then maybe you kick that left leg up. You can bend the knee, one more inhale, lifting through the back leg. Now gently land the back toes back into that crescent lunge, arms overhead. Maybe your right glutes a little fatigued, and that's okay. Release the hands down. Let's give it a nice stretch. So we are in crescent lunge with the hands on the floor. What we're gonna do here, we're gonna transition into side plank tripod. Okay, so the left heel is gonna pivot to the left. Your right foot is gonna walk to the center of the mat with the toes pointing out, and then you're pressing right foot and left foot, left hand to lift the bottom hip. So the more you press that right knee towards the back of your mat, stretch the inner thighs, and you're gonna feel a little bit of stretch on the right hip. Good, now bring that right foot forward again, lifting the back heel. Not an easy transition, right? If you need to use your hands, go ahead. That's it, press back now into downward facing dog. Whew. Let's take a moment there, inhale. Long exhale. Inhale, plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg up and back. Exhale, pigeon on the right side. We deserve this stretch of the pelvis on the right side before we go the sequence on the left side. And just notice how this feels. Once again, Lifting the pelvis here on the right side. Press your left pelvis slightly forward to help you kind of feel more stable. You can come with a block and place your forearms on top of the block. And see if you can kind of let the pelvis, the weight of the pelvis sink a little bit more. That might increase the sensation of the stretch. And the reason I want you to use the block instead of letting your chest forward fall completely, because I also want to work on the strength of the upper back. So this sensation that you feel probably of pulling your chest towards the back is similar to how we need to engage when we do Warrior 3. We tend to collapse the chest down, but we need to maintain that sensation of Cobra as we do Warrior 3 without compromising too much back pain on the lower back. So we can experiment all these techniques and alignment and mechanics on the other side, but don't get too much in your head. It's all about feeling the body, what the body already knows what to do. Just 2 more breaths here. Just let it feel relaxing. Okay. And then slowly you're gonna walk yourself back into downward facing dog. So set your block next to you. We're gonna use it again on the other side. And slowly front leg back into downward facing dog. Feel free to walk the dog, maybe adding some hips into your dog. Whatever feels good here. Just gonna give you a couple more breaths. Just moving in any way that feels intuitively good in the body. Good. Find your stillness in dog. And reach your left leg up and back, 3-legged dog. And then as you exhale, bring that left foot forward. Stay low on your hands on crescent lunge. We're gonna open that chest to the left as you reach your left arm straight up to the sky. And just notice, breathe. Now gently close that twist and press nice and slow into that crescent full lunge. Okay, so here, take a moment to adjust. And then we're gonna come halfway forward, nice and slow. Hands down and back to extend the front leg. So keep that back heel lifted. Maybe bring the chest a little forward, down. So we're playing with our balance. We bend the front knee, lift the chest up, crescent lunge. Exhale, extend, come halfway forward, hands back. Come back up to crescent lunge, rebending the front knee. And then remember here, you can use the block or bring your hands into your hips as we're going into that full Warrior 3. So I like to bring my chest halfway down first. I'm gonna slowly drag my back foot to check my hips. And then when I feel steady, you can lift the back leg. The moment there. It doesn't matter how much that back leg is high. What matters is that your pelvis is centered. One more inhale. And then slowly land the back toes, come all the way up to that crescent lunge. Whew. Breathe in, exhale, bring your hands down. We're gonna do that tripod side plank, right? So right heel pivots to the right, open the left toes to the left and walk that left foot in the center of the mat. Left knee towards the back of the mat, lift in the bottom hip and extend your left arm. Breathe in, breathe out. And then slowly release the top hand. Move that left foot forward again into that crescent lunge. And then walk yourself back into downward facing dog. Whew. Just notice. Maybe you're feeling fatigued and tired already. That's okay. Just embrace the energy, whatever the energy feels right now in your body. Let's do a pigeon on the left side. Take an inhale, right and left leg up and back. And as you exhale, pigeon pose. Grab your block and come into your forearms. Once again, right pelvis slightly forward. So draw it in. It's more energetically of pressing that right hip forward. And come high with your forearms and your blocks so you can work on that strength of the upper back. Allow the weight of the pelvis feel heavy here. And softening shoulders and breath. Notice where your attention goes. It's so easy to get distracted. It's what the mind does. Lengthen your next breath in. One more breath. And then release your hands. Move the block to the side. Let's press back into our downward facing dog. And feel free to move in downward facing dog in any way, shape, or form that feels good right now in the body. Good. Take an inhale, nice and slow through the nose. As you exhale, walk or jump to the top of your mat. Come into Malasana here, so you might want to widen your feet a little bit more. And then as you drop the pelvis down, lifting the crown of the head up. At this point, I'm going to assume that you know how to adjust Malasana. In case you have to adjust it, I'll give you the highlights. Blanket under your heels, sitting on a block. Just make sure you are honoring your body boundary and working with the body, not against your body. Now, if you're here in Malasana full, like without any props, I want you to close your eyes and imagine your pelvic muscles are drawing in and up. So you're feeling a little bit more support and strength from the core section. One more breath. Good, and then as you exhale slowly, sit into the pelvis. So if you have a block, remove it and come into the pelvis and come into boat pose. You're squeezing the inner thighs. If you need to ground yourself here by hugging your legs and having a little bit more of reserve energy, you can do that. Remember that the whole point of the practice is to balance your energy. So if you're feeling already kind of tired, it's an indication that you have to preserve the energy, so you gotta be more gentle with yourself. But if you have plenty of energy to give, continue sharing that abundance until the end of the practice. One more breath. Good, and then release the feet on the ground. We're gonna come into Janusirasana. So if you need to settle yourself in the mat in such a way that you feel you have more space, we're gonna bend the right knee and open into the side. And then we're gonna rest that right foot onto the left inner thigh. I'm gonna kick and flex that left foot and rotate the chest slightly to the left. So when you walk your hands over to your left foot, you can drop the chest forward and down. So now we are stretching the left hamstrings, and we are also opening your right hip a little bit more. So By closing your eyes, I feel sometimes in this kind of seated forward fold, invites a little bit more introspection, and that gives you a sense of paying more attention to the signals and the sensations of the body. So then you can adjust your intention and your intensity to a level that feels comfortable for your breath. One more breath here. And then slowly walk your hands up. And we're going to switch direction with the legs. We've been using a lot the legs in the standing forward, so it's a good way to give them a little bit of love, appreciation for what they do. Make sure you're feeling steady in the hips, and then forward fold over your right leg. Close your eyes if that feels more relaxing for the senses. Notice what parts of the body are resisting the stretch and how you can utilize your breath to let go. One more breath. And then slowly come all the way up. Now let's do the full expression to stretch the inner thigh. So we're gonna open that left leg out to the side. Very important that you feel like the thighs is between the knee and the pelvis. It's very important that you feel that the thighs are almost like internally rotating. That's gonna give the pelvis a little bit of tilt forward. So when you kind of walk the hands in front of you, you feel less compression on the lower back. Now, this is going to feel intense, right? So there is no need to force beyond what the body can do. You will feel it mainly maybe behind the knees, maybe you feel it more deeply in the groins or the inner thighs. Some of you might feel it on your calf. So one way that we can kind of allow ourselves to warm up the hip sockets in here is a gentle sway of the spine side to side. Kind of feels good in the groin area. For some reason, I can't tell you what scientifically, but for some reason, when you swing side to side on the spine, it's almost like allow the pelvis to give you a little bit more momentum. That's what I do to get deeper in the pose without abusing the body. It just opens up my body. I don't know if that might be the case for you, but I just want to share that. Just a couple more breaths here. Good, and then walk your hands, come all the way up. Bring your heels together, Radha Konasana now. So hands can be under the knees as you bring your feet together. Now, how close your heels are in relationship with your pelvis, it will depend on how intensely you want to feel in the body, and sitting a little taller here also helps. So the closer the heels to the pelvis, the more intense you feel on the inner thighs as the legs open out. The farther the heels, the more gentle it is. We're gonna walk our hands once again in front of you, but try to keep all the toes and the heel really pressing into each other. That's going to activate some strength as we're stretching on the inner thigh. So the inner thighs are a very, very important muscle of your hips. The inner thighs is inside your legs. Those are the muscles responsible to abduct your legs bringing the leg beyond the midpoint. So when we sit for too long, and especially after practices like this, we focus a lot on the outer hip muscles, your glutes, and the IT band perhaps. So the inner thighs are overlooked to find a full balance around the pelvis and balancing poses. This is just in case you were wondering why are we stretching so much the inner thighs after Warrior 3. Just give yourself a couple more breaths. And then gently come all the way up. And we're gonna continue stretching the legs because it was a kind of strong practice on the legs. If you have a strap, go ahead and grab a strap. If you don't have a strap, you can use your hands completely, that's fine. We're gonna roll into our back. So first close slowly your knees in here, and then come into your backs and hook the knees into your chest for a moment first. As we start to cool down, just notice the energy in the body, right? The body already feels like it's been used enough, maybe. And so from here, what we're gonna do, you're gonna grab your strap now and place it on the arch of your right foot, and then kicking that right leg straight up to the sky. If your strap is long enough, by all means, rest the upper arms on the floor. That's gonna relax more your chest and the shoulders. And then extend your left leg in front of you down to the floor. And so we want to have that right leg above your hip. And so once again, we're gonna stretch the inner thigh, and then we're gonna stretch the outer hip. So point your right toes to the outside as you keep the leg on top of the hips. So your right toes are pointing out and your heel is pressing straight up to the sky. So now we're gonna stretch a little bit of the hamstring here. Open your left arm to the side and bend the elbows. You're doing cactus arm on the left. And then start opening your right leg to the right as you keep grounding yourself through the left hip. Now your foot is pressing into the strap, but with your hand, you're pulling the strap in. And so you feel that duality as you feel the stretch and the strength. Good, use your core abdomen to bring the leg slowly back to center. Shift the ends of your strap into your left hand. Open your right arm into cactus to ground the shoulder and cross your right leg to the left. As you bring your right leg to the left, bring your right toes a little bit towards the back of your mat. That's going to intensify a little bit more your outer hip stretch, your IT band, and all the tissues on the outer right leg. One more inhale. Could use that core strength to slowly come up. We're gonna release the strap and we're gonna come into half happy baby. So bend the knee and grab your big toe to press your feet or your right foot closer to you as your right thigh opens out from the midline. Good, take one more breath. And then release, bring that right knee to center, kicking that right leg in front of you. And just notice that gentle, subtle difference between right and left. Let's balance the body. Place your strap on that left foot. Kicking that left foot straight up. And just settle here on the pelvis, settle here on the shoulders. Open your left toes out, bring your left heel in and up. Cactus arm on the right side. And open that left leg to the left. And bring those left toes to the back of your mat. That's going to feel like you're actually doing a little bit more stretch. Breathe in, ground yourself through the right hip. Core strength, leg back up to center. Switch the strap to the right hand and open your left arm. Take your time as you cross the left leg to the right. Keep those feet, or the toes, my bad. Keep the left toes to the back of your mat. Keep pressing that foot into the strap. Keep pulling the strap in. All right. And then slowly come back up to center. As you let go of the strap, get ready for your baby pose on the left side, bending the left knee, grabbing your left big toe, and opening that thigh wider than chest. One more breath. Good, and then slowly close that left knee in and kick in the left leg. Reach the arms overhead, give yourself a long stretch. A brief Shavasana, a couple minutes here for you to digest this whole practice. So release the hands by your side. If you want to grab a blanket to place it somewhere under your legs or your neck, just make sure you are comfortable here for a couple minutes. Relax your hands by your side. Let your legs feel relaxed. Relaxing your breath as well. Your arms and fingers are relaxed. Your neck and shoulders are relaxed. Your face and head fully relaxed. Your pelvis is relaxed. Your legs and your feet are fully relaxed. Gently deepen your breath and come back to the present moment with no rush, still relaxing, just a little bit more aware. Just roll your wrists and ankles in circle and switch direction of that circle. And reach your arms overhead. Give yourself a long stretch in here. And slowly you're going to wrap your arms around the knees as you bring them to your chest. Just gently rock side to side. Still relaxing, still mellow, eyes closed. Roll into your right side for one breath. Make a pillow with your right arm. Take a moment to appreciate how you feel. Fully present, fully balanced. Gratitude for this moment, gratitude for our lives. Just press your left palm. Slowly transition into your comfortable seated position as we get ready to close our practice with a few breaths. It's just impressive, right? After we end the practice, similarly how we begin, how we feel more in tune with our bodies, more in tune with our breath. We are more in control with our intention and attention. And take a deep inhale through the nose, nice and slow. Slowly exhale through the nose. Feel the breath on your chest. Deep breath in again. Slowly exhale through the nose. And last breath. Palms together or on your chest, a gentle bow. Thank you for taking time for yourself. Thank you for prioritizing yourself. Infinite gratitude for doing that with me. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. I hope you start to feel more yourself, whatever that might be for you today. Just be kind to yourself, embrace yourself. We are humans, we're always in constant change. If you have a good day today and you have a bad day tomorrow, nothing wrong with you. It's just the way it is. Life is up and down. So always remember your inner stillness, your breath helps you to connect to your peace. So thanks again, and I hope this practice delivers you the stability that you crave in your life. Thank you so much.